Hello once again, Mr. Pete here. Welcome back to the Poverty Shop. I've got a little problem here today. See if I can solve it. It might be a failure. You know, I feel like Dragon Man with the red cloth. You ever watch Dragon Man? I love that guy. He's out in Colorado Springs. He's got machine guns. He's got old cars. He's got military museum. Just an awesome, funny guy. So anyway, he uses these red rags by the thousands apparently. But the other day I was doing some videos with dial indicators, and you see this one works just fine, and so did this one, and then all of a sudden it got stuck. It does not move. It was mounted on this particular mount, so I took it off. You've seen these before. Now, it does not say made in China, it does not say made in USA, it doesn't say anything. But I'm sure it's not a Starrett, and the brand is kind of unknown. Doesn't matter, these are $12 indicators. If I can't get it freed up, I'll throw it away. So, with my beautiful little Craftsman screwdriver, I'll take those 4 screws out of the bottom and let's see if we can see anything in there. Nothing is bent. I did not drop it, so I don't know what the problem is. And these are rack and pinion type. Well, I changed my mind. This will be way too much work, so I'll use the Mr. Pete 222 screwdriver. Oh, that sure doesn't show up too well, does it? Okay, what's inside this mystery tool? I like to mark things so they're oriented when I reassemble. Boy, I don't see anything obviously wrong. There's no corrosion or debris in there. Why would there be? It's all sealed. I do not believe it requires any lubrication on the inside, but is there a minor amount of corrosion or something on the little shaft? Now, I have nothing to lose here, so I am going to force it a little bit one way or the other. If I can't make this work, the garbage can's only 3 feet away. Well, the Starrett oil can is kind of clumsy, so I think I'll use my precision oiler because I do want a little oil right here on that shaft, and 1 drop right there. Now I'm going to force it. Looking at the good one, you can see that this pulls out, so I want to get a little oil right here where my fingernail is. Boy, how come my hands are so dirty? Dirty hands, honest man. Well, I'm getting a little movement out of it if I push hard enough. And now I'm able to actually move it a little bit with my bare fingers. I don't see anything wrong in here. And I do not know if this is going to show up or not, but probably not. But here's the pinion gear right below the screwdriver tip, and this is the rack. That is the tiny little gear. Straight gear, that is. It's a straight gear. Well, I'm going to work it back and forth a little bit and I'll be right back. Well, it is now freed up enough such that I can move it back and forth, but it should spring back like that with this tiny little spring. Look at how little that is. And no way will it do that yet. These are indicators that have, I think, a 250 thousandths. Well, at this point, it's moving pretty freely, but not the full stroke. The plunger should go in almost, well, let's look at this one. I'm glad I got one to compare. It should go in all the way like that, and it doesn't. I'm beginning to wonder if this shaft right here is bent. I did not drop it, or I certainly don't remember dropping it, or it could have got bumped or something. I have a feeling that's bent. Certainly isn't worth messing with. Although it'd be fine for, what do we have here? 1 3/4 stroke, and then all of a sudden it gets tight right there. Should I throw it out? Well, I was able to get this part out. There it is. It was press fit in there, so I was able to wiggle it out. But, and there's a little brass bushing in there. And trying to put it in, this is the wrong way, this is backwards. But I feel resistance. Because right now I have full travel. Although since it's not supported properly. But you see, I have full travel now. So the problem is not internal. Obviously, from what I can deduce, there is a bend in this little shaft. What I'm going to do, and it really isn't worth messing with, and I won't show this, but I'm going to put this in the small lathe right here. I'm going to chuck it right here, and I'm going to polish this ever so lightly. This is all metric. I wish I had a reamer that would go into this little brass bushing, but let me see if polishing this does anything. I kind of have my doubts. I'll use crocus cloth. Well, you know, it's Christmas Eve. Will miracles never cease? I think I got it. That was just real fine emery cloth, not crocus cloth, but I think it was 440 or something in that neighborhood. So that was the problem. Let me put the tip back on, which just screws on, of course, and the back. A little more oil on there. There is a little brass bushing there, as you can see. Well, not bad for a shaky hand old shop teacher with cataracts. The only thing that helped me get through this was, of course, the good old Optivisor. Well, if you have a damaged or malfunctioning indicator, give it a try, see if you can fix it. I had a strong feeling that it wasn't something internally, because this has never been a part. But I still don't know if it had been dropped, and I don't think I've ever dropped an indicator in my life. It would have been bent much worse than that. It's just that, you know, I probably only removed a half a thousandth or less. I didn't measure it. Of course, it's in metric, as I said, but there it is. Good as old. If you liked the video, give me a comment. Let me show you one more thing before I hang up. You know, even when I got the back off and looked on the inside, it did not say made in communist China or anything like that. That is kind of surprising, because they like to put the mark of the beast on it, you know. Well, you are looking at a box of broken indicators that will soon be on Pete Bay. And this is the one I was going to throw it in there and let somebody else deal with it. You know, all of these have minor problems. Here's one I probably could fix. It's just a little sluggish, and I'm ready to throw it out. But anyway, I got it working. Let me tell you one more thing now. And I have not released it, but a month ago I made a video on Mr. Pete's indicator collection or hoard. I've got at least 50 indicators, and I go through every one slowly and methodically. I got 2 or 3 drawers full of them, so watch for that video if you like dial indicators and test indicators. They are not the same. Now you know, you saw the inside of this, that regular dial indicators work with a rack and pinion, whereas test indicators work with levers and are considered to be more accurate, and they usually cost more as well, because you can buy these pretty darn cheap. Okay, here's a little extra credit and a rant, if you will. Many people enjoy a rant. Well, I just proved in the video that some dial indicators, mechanicals, can be repaired or tuned up. If they've been badly damaged, of course not, and you need to throw them away, and it doesn't matter much with a cheaper one, $20 one. But you know what? I don't really care that much about electronic or digital type of indicators, and this is a major brand. This is a Mitutoyo, and it's been in the drawer for years, and I have not used it because I prefer these. But so I thought, well, I wonder if this still works, because I haven't used it in several years. So first of all, I was pretty sure I took the batteries out, and I did. So the battery compartment is empty, but you can examine this, and it makes no reference whatsoever to the battery number. Now, the only thing that matters, here's my rant, the only thing that matters is what batteries does it use? Is it too much effort for you to include that on the label? So I did some major research, and then something dawned on me as I flipped it over. So many years ago, that's my handwriting, I put down 357 or 303. Okay, so I decided I'm going to put a battery in there and see if it works. So I did have batteries in stock of those 2 numbers, but there were 6 batteries on here, and these are Maxell. You think they would be a good brand, and they're not that old. January of 23. Well, that's almost 3 years old, but I thought they would last for 20 years. So I put batteries in here. Oh, and the other thing is, I put 1 battery in, and it seemed like there was too much space. So I thought, well, maybe it takes 2 batteries. Well, I finally figured out it does take 2 batteries, but why didn't they tell me that? Okay, so then with the Maxell batteries, got out the old battery tester, and of the 6 that was originally on here, only 1 was good. The rest didn't measure at all. So fortunately, I had in stock this batch, which I bought very recently. That's just 2 months ago. And I used one of the old ones and one of these. And sure enough, they do fit, and it takes 2 of them. Why didn't they tell me that? Well, I knew that when you put just 1 in, and then you can't get them out. That's why I like these. All right, which is more accurate? So anyway, I put 1 battery in, and there's a lot of room in there. That's the lid, which they should give you 10 extras of these, by the way, but of course you'd lose them. And so then I put another one on, and since this is going to be clumsy, I'll be right back after I figure out how to put the lid on. It's alive! It's alive! Well, how do you get it to read 0? There we go. Nothing happening there, so I guess I have to hit another button, or maybe this button. Well, how do I get it to work? It shouldn't have to be this complicated. I know you people out there are thinking, what's the matter with this guy? But when you get old, all of this stuff gets difficult and frustrating. Excuse me while I throw this in the garbage. Well, I finally got it to work. I had to hold this little button down. I don't understand what all of that means, and I know you can hook it up to a computer. Someplace here there's a little... Where is it? Right here. You can hook it up to your computer. I don't want to hook it up to a computer. And now it went off again. I'm hating this. Well, I finally got it to work again, but I don't know what I did. I can't repeat what I did off camera. So I think you can tell by my voice how frustrated and annoyed I am, and I would rather have this $19 indicator than this. This is probably $200. And don't get me wrong, I love Mitutoyo. It's one of my favorite brands. No lug on the back, so obviously this has to be held by the stem here. So what are your thoughts about digital indicators rather than the mechanical ones? So I think you know what I think. This will probably end up on Pete Bay. I don't know where I got it. I've had it, I guess, for a long time. Haven't used it in years. And that is why I haven't used it. When I get an indicator out and I want to check something, I don't want to have to play with it or relearn how to use it. All right, enough of that rant. Mr. Pete again saying so long for now. By the way, here's a 10-year-old video of mine entitled What Makes It Work? Number 18, How a Dial Indicator Works. You may find that of interest.